This is the power of the creative arts practice, to construct in real time alternative realities, transform present circumstances, and imagine a better future. The creative arts possess that power to change because of their challenge to the rational world and their location in the imagination. And with that power comes the opportunity to change the way we teach, to interact with the health sciences, to tackle societal challenges in new built environments with patient-centered tools, to illuminate and communicate the findings of scholars in the humanities and social sciences, and reach new audiences in new media, and to engineer new products inspired by hopes, dreams, and the imagination, and not by the limitations of the rational mind.
I'm very privileged to be allowed in despite my rational mind. The creative arts practice theme is just a very exciting theme to belong to. There are actors and dancers working with computer scientists, there's composers working with sociologists, and in my case there's engineers working with artists. So I'm the director of Connect. Connect is one of the 12 SFI research centres in Ireland. It has national reach and we work with 40 different industry partners. You know, we draw on such techniques as mathematical analysis or predictive techniques or computer simulation. But now through creative arts practices, we also draw on things like visualization, photomontage, critical design, creative writing. That allows us to imagine, I feel, very much a deeper and richer future that goes beyond what we would be able to do with the traditional engineering toolbox. And when it comes to realising that future, I think the creative artist practice for me is of vital importance. For me, the stark role that the artist plays in that is all about questioning the technological worlds that I want to create. It's about understanding the power relationships that emerge in those worlds. And most importantly, it's about driving home the message that there's no such thing as neutral design.
Creative research is a type of research that is always looking beyond its own boundaries, that feeds off interdisciplinarity, and that always has an audience as its final goal. It's always in discourse with wider society, asking questions. And I think it's not only that the university can furnish that with diverse research that's occurring within the university, it's also that the university itself needs to be in dialogue with wider society. And I think that artists making research within the university act as portals for people from the outside world to come in and find out what's happening in here.
For me, creative arts practice is not just about something in the academy that's over here in Trinity, it's about something that's in the real world. When I look at the industry partners that we work with and the long tradition we have of working with them, a future that's based on a purely technological future is not a compelling one. But more importantly still, when you look at the opportunities for spin-outs and building Indigenous industry in Ireland, I think it's really, really important that we embrace creative arts practice and technologies.
So creative arts practice is about so much more than entertainment. It's not art for the sake of entertainment, but rather the engagement of creativity and the focus on communication at the both emotional and intellectual level, so that it opens avenues that can be philosophical or political or even medical or scientific.
For me, I was carrying out research for over 20 years on Irish women's encounters with the fertile body. And so as a social policy researcher, one of the things people say to you is, I hope this work doesn't end up as a book that gathers dust on the shelf. The specific project I brought to the creative arts practice research theme was concerning Irish women's experiences of concealing pregnancy in contemporary Ireland. But when I presented that research in formats familiar to my discipline, such as policy research reports, PhD thesis, or academic papers, I found that the responses that I tended to generate reinscribed the pathologisation of the women. And so I found that those two-dimensional written formats could not really carry the meaning that I found conveyed to me by the embodied tellings of the women I had met in the research. And so I brought that research to the creative arts practice research theme, and I hoped that that might be a forum where I could tell the analysis differently. And there I met Evangelia Rigaki from the School of Music here. When I told her the story of my research, she said, Catherine, we will make opera. And Evangelia conceptualised a performance that comprised 7 miniature operas and a wandering choir staged in a confession box. Inside, in the specially constructed confession box, the audience member sits in the central chamber. And it was staged really in a very iconic public place. And as a performance, it meant that this research became something that the public did not get to not see. People who witnessed the performance spoke of finding it unsettling, haunting, and claustrophobic. Some people recalled memories from their own families of communities where they were aware of somebody who had had an experience similar to the concealed pregnancy, and talked about ways in which they felt implicated in that. And many mused on ways in which we can all be implicated in personal crises of people as a society. And this suggested to me the potential for cultural translation to bring about change of a very different way in terms of how we think about our role in society and culture.
For me, creative arts practices have given me new ways of seeing, new ways of speaking, and new ways of solving.